What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of On the Couch with Max Power. My name is Max Power, and as you can see, I'm on a couch.
It's red.
It is red. And I'm sitting next to my good friend Chris.
Also known as Antonio Picante. Ooh.
That's news to me.
Not on YouPorn, bro.
But, this is our very first episode, and we are going to review Metallica S&M2.
Oh.
Get a little shot, a little closer shot. So, we're going to do a little bit of an unboxing. This is the deluxe edition of Metallica's S&M2. You got the CD, of course. You got the Blu-ray.
The re-edited Blu-ray.
Yeah. Of course. A collection of guitar picks. I'm not going to really show you all of them, but a little baggie of guitar
They're
picks.
worth more if they're sealed in the baggie.
Are they really?
Yeah. No.
Song sheets for the, I want to say this is the everything, really. Violin, harp, for All Within My Hands. There's a lot in here. This little booklet, it's got
Little coffee table book.
Yeah, a little coffee table. It's kind of thin. It's got Rob and different things like that. Massive poster. Looks pretty good. I don't know from
These were fetching for $100 on eBay. These were posters that were at the movie theaters because they had released this movie one night only, and they wound up extending it for about a month. These were the pictures. These were the posters that they had at the theater. At one time, you were going to try to get your friends at Alamo.
That's right.
To get you one.
Yep, that's right.
And that's the poster.
So a little poster action.
And then the coup de grace.
Yep. For you vinyl collectors. Blam. Inside, there's four of them. All different colors.
Two of them are splatter, and two of them are just regular half and halves. Yeah.
Boom.
Oh yeah.
So this is
very nice.
The delectors, and you also get digital copy, which is nice. Yeah. So let's get into this performance. Cool thing about this one is the fact that me and Chris were both there.
Oh yeah.
We went night one, San Francisco.
Opening night of Chase Center, the new arena where the Golden State Warriors are currently losing.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about our experience in San Francisco. We don't have to go in all the details about where we went and what we did and who we saw and who we didn't see, but let's talk about the Metallica show.
Okay, let's start from the very beginning because life has a funny way of playing itself out. Normally, when I get a lot of good, it has to balance out with a lot of bad. The tickets sold out in like less than 30 seconds, and I somehow magically, deliciously wound up winning a pair. And I was ecstatic to the top of the moon. Nothing would have brought me down until I went to lunch. And within 5 minutes, I got pulled over for speeding on the fucking feeder.
Oh, that's right.
On the day of.
I forgot about this.
Yeah.
I really forgot about this.
Yeah. So that was horrible.
How fast were you going?
Oh, man, I was going 65, 70. But the feeder, the signs are like, some feeders are 35 miles an hour, which is fucking ridiculous.
Drops like that, too.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And I was already on the feeder. If you get off, you can still go fast. But if you're on the feeder, so yeah, that bounced out pretty quick. And I was brought back to reality pretty quick. So that killed the buzz for a little bit. But once we started buying flights, booking the Airbnb, getting the rental locked and all that stuff, that's when the high started crawling back. We spent 5 days total. Yeah. Tuesday to Saturday in California.
Yeah, we flew into LA. We spent time in LA. Then we drove. We got rented a car. Chris drove because he's a speed demon. He likes to drive, as the speeding ticket approves.
I'm a wheel man. I like being behind the wheel.
A wheel man. Yeah. So we got to San Francisco. Was it the night of? The night before? Night before.
The night before.
We got up super early and we drove to the arena, parked the car, and we wanted to get the lay of the land, as they like to say. Walked around. We both got the poster.
Oh yeah, we showed up early. We were doing.
Really early.
I wanted to do some recon, so I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was getting ourselves into. So we got there early to take some pictures. Will called to pick up the tickets. That way we didn't have to wait in line the hour before the show.
Yeah.
Since I had pre-ordered it through the Metallica website, those pre-orders hadn't been completely processed yet, so they weren't going to be ready till about 5.
Yeah, something like that.
But before we left, noticed the merch table was already being put together outside, and we wanted to get the poster. Which I'm surprised you didn't pull it off the wall.
I was thinking about that, but I'm not. Yeah, maybe
you don't want to stand up and show off your hairy legs.
No, I mean you can already see my hairy legs, so we're good.
Yeah. They could use some California treatment right now. Just set half of them on fire.
Just like if you go further up, that's when it starts getting like my T-shirt, you know. But yeah, so we both got the night one poster. There's like 300.
There was 650, I think. But the part that sucked. I wanted more than one.
Yes.
I'm smart. I've been around this block before. The concert we went to in San Antonio.
Yes.
We got posters for the Alamo Dome. It had the Alamo on it.
I don't think I got that. Did I get that?
Yeah, you did. It's Day of the Dead. You have it somewhere. I know you did because you got one. I paid $50 for that poster and I sold it on eBay for $360. So if I would have gotten 2 of those Metallica posters, that could have paid that one poster I would have sold would have paid for half of the trip, if not all the trip, because the poster now is going for at least $1,000.
For real?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. But the dude in the front of the line bought 12, and for some reason the stupid merch lady let him buy all 12. And then after that, they're like, "Sorry, we're limiting to one poster of one of each poster per person." I was the fuck?
We were in line. We were
6th or 7th in line.
So I think the first person got 12. The second person bought 3 or 4.
And that was it.
And it kept going. And then eventually they were like, 1 per person. So pretty much the person before us was the first person to get 1. They were only allowed 1.
Yeah.
So, Chris was over here all mad. But you got it. It's on the wall. You finally hung one up.
Yeah.
I got mine on my wall, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
So since it's an orchestra and we actually
hung it right here.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
So people could have seen it.
We dressed up.
Right? Oh yeah. I don't know if you gave me flack for this in the beginning because I mentioned it as like, dude, it's a concert, it's a symphony. You don't always go dressed up. I'm sure you're not going to be the only person from Scotland there. Wear a kilt.
Yeah, but we also fly Spirit.
And they look up people's kilts in Spirit.
No, but I mean, kilts are heavy. I don't know if you ever carried a kilt, but they're heavy. They're really thick. It's not perfect for San Francisco. It might have been good in San Francisco, but yeah. So I wouldn't be able to fit that in a Spirit backpack.
No. I didn't want. And I wore slacks, button-down shirt, and a vest, and I didn't want to fold all that or pay extra for a carry-on to like properly carry it. So I wore it on the flight. And then I hung it back up when we got to California.
70s.
Yeah,
like 70s aristocrat.
Like we literally went all old school. Like we went to dressed up for the symphony because that's what you're supposed to do. I got all dressed up.
There was a lot of people dressed up.
A lot of even people. Tuxedos. Like they went.
Yeah,
balls
especially
out.
people on the floor. A lot of people closer that were dressed up. But then you also got the Metallica fan that you picture when how I look like this, but just a picture of this in a suit or like So there was a lot of little mix.
Yeah,
I liked it. Like I don't dress up for. I don't remember the last time I dressed. I dressed up for the Rat Pack, like a tribute to the Rat Pack, like 15 years ago with my dad. But I've never, especially when you think of Metallica, you don't think you're gonna be wearing a vest unless it's made out of leather or denim,
or a real gorilla chest,
or a real gorilla vest, So
hint.
Yeah. Future episode maybe.
So gunmetal vest, gunmetal slacks, black tie with gray skulls, and a black T-shirt. So I was all out. Well, black Converse, so it wasn't completely.
Yeah, because we also we drove, but where we were staying, we rode the train.
Yeah, we were in Oakland. We stayed at an Airbnb in Oakland, so we parked our car there because parking was ridiculous and traffic was even worse. So.
Even on the train, the traffic was insane.
Yeah.
So I think I had some black Adidas. I think I was wearing my black Adidas. They're just solid black. They look kind of like your Converse, but they're Adidas.
Yeah.
Because I'm not walking around all day wearing nice dress
Yeah,
shoes.
we did not dress up like that when we went to go pick up the tickets. We were casual. We were going to Golden Gate Bridge. We took a little bit of the sights out there, just a little bit of cruising around, drove on a couple bridges, the usual shit. So when we were dressed up, it was already time to roll out. So we get there, badass new arena. Everybody's fucking. We've been in enough concerts, even if there's no mosh pit. The BO was like, ugh.
Especially sitting outside because they didn't open the doors until
an hour before. I think.
And it was there. The courtyard they have in the front is very packed.
Yeah,
and there was no direction on where to go. It was literally one line just started, and then you would stand in line, and all of a sudden another line would be this way.
Yeah,
and then there'd be another one this way.
It was just like ants in an anthill, just
exactly. That's a good So it was kind of confusing. So I just jumped. You went and got the tickets right before the show. You went and grabbed the tickets, and so I just found the shortest line I could find, which is actually pretty short. We got in there pretty fast, and I just I kept an eye on Chris to make sure he was here. So I kind of I skipped the line. And
then the more that closer we got, the line started spreading out to other doors. So we just started finagling.
Yeah, we worked the in.
But we were outside 10 minutes total. It didn't feel like a lot.
No, I don't know, because maybe a little bit longer than that. But this was also over a year ago.
Yeah,
because it took them that long to edit it and stuff like that. So it came out August.
It was supposed to come out in February. They had announced it in February. Then they pushed it to this early summer.
Now,
that was COVID.
August 26th.
And then August 26th, 29th.
Whatever. So
28th, something.
That weekend, or that week.
Which was almost a year to the date. Almost a week from a year to the date.
So the album had a little bit of old songs and then some of the new songs in there. What did you like and what didn't you like? I don't feel like going into the tracks but
all right.
Because I got some things I didn't really care for.
What I didn't like is very nominal. So I'm gonna go ahead and just lay it out there. First, you and I, for the people that aren't aware, we can break that down later on in another episode. You and I have been to 10 Metallica concerts in our lives. Some of them are each. Not all the same.
So that's 20 total.
Yeah. So when you've been to 20 total, there's certain songs that you're going to get on a set list.
Yes.
And having the last 4 or 5 songs be those staples, if it wasn't S&M, I would have probably left early to beat the traffic. Because I wasn't in the pit. I wasn't fighting for a rut. I was nowhere near a set list or a drum pick that I can grab. We're in the middle of the arena, not the top, not the floor or the bottom bowl. So if it wasn't S&M, I probably would have just skipped out.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
That's probably the only negative I have. One in the middle would probably be Mazalov, the symphony song that Metallica joined in on.
Yeah.
The first night that we saw it, they looked awkward as fuck. Yeah. They needed at least a week more to rehearse those 4 minutes because it felt like it felt like it didn't go. That's just my opinion. It was even now. I've had the album for a couple of months now. Well, actually, I've had a bootleg of the theater rip, so I've been hearing it for a bit.
What? No,
and I do not go back to listen to that song at all.
There's the intro, and then there's 4 songs on there that are more of the symphony than Metallica. They did
so it's Ecstasy of Gold.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about right in the middle. Those 4. There's like the intro, right. That was right after there was an intermission. So right after intermission.
So Prokofiev was the first instrumental that the symphony played. Then Iron Foundry was the song that Symphony and Metallica played together. Then they did All Within My Hands or Unforgiven 3. Either one of those two in either one of those 2 orders.
Yeah.
Those were out there. I like them, but I don't know where you were going with it.
Yeah, I just on Spotify you can hide songs, so you can just knock them out of the album. It's kind of hard to decide. If you go to see Metallica, you want to see Metallica, and seeing them with the symphony was cool as shit. But I want to hear Metallica songs. I would have wished they had just scrapped at least one of, I probably would just put that. I don't know where you would put that, but just for me, it wasn't. I don't want to hear it.
Which one?
Any of them, both those ones. Like I'm paying to see Metallica perform Metallica songs. Or I mean, I guess if they did covers, it'd be kind of cool. But like something different. Okay on the CD and the DVD or the Blu-ray, whatever. It sounds good because I'm pretty sure that's night 2.
And it's edited, yeah.
It's edited and it's night 2. When we saw it, like you said, that's the most uncomfortable I've ever seen, like Metallica.
James looked like times that he had a face like he was lost.
Yeah.
You normally when you hear them play their music, they're moving around. They got a little.
They have a confidence. They're a little upbeat.
They have a little swagger. They did not have that when they were playing that song. They looked like they were in the garage playing that song for like the 3rd time ever.
Yeah. So, but listening to it on the CD, it's a lot better. Which I'm guessing. I think a lot of the stuff they probably took from night 2.
Yeah, I think that second disc is all night 2.
Yeah. So, was there any songs on the album that you saw that you liked that you had never seen before or you heard?
I'm not sure that I've been in attendance to see them play Day That Never Comes live. Fun fact, when Metallica was supposed to come to Houston for the Death Magnetic tour at Toyota Center, I was ready to buy tickets that day. The tickets went on sale on a Friday. Mm-hmm. Well, Hurricane Ike was coming to town.
I remember this.
So they wound up moving the ticket date to Thursday.
Okay.
And I was unaware. So by the time I realized the tickets were on sale, all the floor were gone. And at that time, I still had the mentality of pit or shit. If I'm not in the pit, I'd rather just sit at home and watch it once it's on DVD, which they've released several DVDs. Obviously, there's one in this box.
Yeah.
So I didn't catch a lot of the Death Magnetic songs live in person. So Day That Never Comes was the one that was my first time watching it live. And hearing the orchestra do the intro bit was freaking gold. I loved it.
They've only played that song like 8 times live.
Which one?
Day That Never Comes.
Bullshit, bro.
I'm serious.
I have the concerts, bro. When they toured,
their website's lying. Then
the website's lying because during Death Magnetic tour, that was the first single released. So they played that song every time. The only reason that you heard Cyanide first was because for whatever reason that's the song that they did the debut.
So
but Day Never Comes was the first single. So
one of the first times Cyanide was at Ozfest. That was one of the first times they played it
live.
Lucky
duck.
First time they ever played it live. They had just finished
mastering the album. It was done. It was officially done.
So I think it was like in October too, right? Was Ozfest in October when that came out? So like I don't know. So. Yeah. I like that one. Halo of Fire with the orchestra.
Oh man.
That
was a perfect fit. Nit to pick, the crowd sounded a whole lot louder in the chorus than it does on the album and on the Blu-ray. Because when they sing the title part, where they sing Halo on Fire, James doesn't sing it. The audience sings it. And when we were there, it was loud. It echoed like a mofo.
It was loud,
and it sounds muted on all the audio that they've
which
released.
is weird because you would want that to be a focus.
Yeah.
But
the fact that the audience doesn't, I could hear the horns because the horn does that, and I didn't. And that's the part I like because even though the symphony rotated on the stage throughout the whole performance, like where we were sitting at, by the time the performance was over, both halves, the stage would have revolved an entire revolution. So that whatever musician that was in front of us will have already made the entire lap around the building by the time. So it's certain songs, there's certain instruments we don't hear. Yeah. So I kind of it balances out that I don't hear myself screaming during the chorus, but I can hear instruments that I didn't hear. There was a lot of stuff I picked up on the album.
That's
and it might even come out better on the vinyl, which that's the only format I haven't heard yet. Because I don't have that's my first ever whole vinyl album. So.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna buy one here pretty soon just so I can listen to it because I want to hear what it sounds like. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
You've thrown out Day. You've thrown out Halo. Which was your favorite song out of the entire concert?
Oh man. I gotta go with Halo.
Yeah.
I think that song was that Unforgiven 3.
Unforgiven 3 is an anomaly. No pun intended for any alcoholics here in Houston. I think you've listened to, I've introduced you to this on a road trip somewhere, probably to Dallas. There's a 30th anniversary concert that Metallica did over 4 shows, and one of the songs they played was One, but it was Apocalyptica that played the first half of One. And then once the double bass kicks in and the song gets heavy, the whole band comes in.
Oh, really?
I
never heard of
that. If I have it on my phone, I'll let you hear. I'll show it to you afterwards.
I want to hear that.
So I hear it, having that in my resume. I was thinking the first half of Unforgiven 3 was just a symphony with James singing, and then once the solo part hit, the whole band would come out, and then they'd fade back out when the song mellows out and finishes. So hearing the whole thing, just James singing, like Ricky Bobby not knowing what to do with his hands. It sounded beautiful, dude. It's
weird to watch.
Because I don't think, other than the one performance, and even then it was half.
Yeah. Watching James sing without a guitar,
he
doesn't know what to do with his hands.
Yeah. The only time he's done that consistently was
in his pockets or his waist or something. It just looks weird.
He in the early 90s when he had that pyro thing, he was still singing. So he had a mic and he was still moving around, but he didn't have the guitar on. But him there in that moment,
I think there was a couple of times in the shows. Obviously we didn't see night 2, but night 1, there's a lot of times where they looked awkward,
like rusty.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know how long they practiced. I didn't really keep up and see how long they performed with the orchestra.
Yeah.
And then obviously right after that he went back to rehab. I don't know if that filtered in, if the pressure of doing another S&M live and learning new songs and
being almost flawless.
And because it's one thing, there's videos of Metallica fucking up, and every band fucks up, but
even the first S&M, I'm not sure if you know this either. The original, the solo for No Leaf Clover that's on the CD and the DVD, that's not how it was played live. There were 2 different solos, one from night 1 and one from night 2, and they spliced them together, the best parts together. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So there isn't that much pressure. They could have just put together the best parts from either night and just polished it really nice. But it's not the first time James has gone to rehab, and having some of that, and have some of that clarity. That might have been one of the best performances I've seen.
Yeah,
of the band completely, and then knowing that he had all that burden on him.
Yeah,
and had to go to rehab and let it out. Fuck, man.
So we said Halo was good. Unforgiven 3 was good.
Day That Never Comes.
Day That Never Come was good.
What's next? If you're I don't even know if you're ranking these. I'm not sure. I would rank them.
No, these are just like, because
this is a good pile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everything, like, after we've done this, we're going to do our top 10 Metallica favorite songs, right? My 10 and his 10. We haven't seen them. We don't know what we wanted it to be a surprise for both of us more than for the audience, I think. And when I brought up the idea for to do this episode, I was like, don't show me your list. And then almost simultaneously, we both said we're not picking anything from the Black Album, and we're not picking anything from. You said you're not picking anything from Kill 'Em All.
No, in my top 10, I don't think I have anything from Kill 'Em All.
So in the Black Album, I think the Black Album's already done so many things, and obviously it's one of the first albums I heard Metallica, and it kind of got me into Metallica. I don't know if that was the same for you or not, but so hearing like Sandman and Nothing Else Matters, and what else did they do from that album?
It was just those two. They didn't do Sad But True this time. All the songs on the first Symphony Metallica that were guitar tuned to drop D, those were taken out, so that they didn't have to switch too many guitars and do all kinds of background shit with the text.
I've heard those songs numerous times. I listen, like when I have the CD on, I'm listening. I don't skip the songs, but for when we're talking about the songs that worked, the newer songs for me worked a lot.
So I'm going to completely counter that argument because you just said that there isn't anything on our list from Black Album or from Kill 'Em All. So hearing the bassist for the orchestra do Anesthesia by himself,
okay. That was.
I started crying, bro.
Wait. That was the caveat. That was my next thing. That would have been the fourth thing. Them playing that, man. Yeah, it brought a little tear to my eye too. I didn't cry like Chris.
I bawled, dude. That dude. That week vacation was something I needed. I was already in a cool place, but even sometimes you still need to decompress and just like let things go.
100% agree.
I was a bit frustrated for the stupidest shit. When they first announced S&M2 was supposed to be one night only.
One night only.
And that they were not going to add any new songs from the catalog up to where S&M got released. So technically, they were not supposed to play this song.
Okay.
And then fans complained because it's sold out. Obviously, because there's people that are San Francisco Symphony fans that want to go to the show. There's people that have season tickets for the Golden State Warriors, and they want to be there for the first night of the new arena.
Yeah.
And there's Metallica fans, so people are going to be shit out of luck.
And you just have people that are San Francisco, like,
proud of going there.
Yeah, they do San Francisco events.
Yeah.
They go to things like that. They go to baseball games, even if they
it's
don't
an
like
Instagram
baseball.
or Twitter magnet. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, I was at the first event at Chase
First
Center.
ever event.
Yeah. And so many fans complained that Metallica added a second night. So I'm like, man, that just, to me, that devalued my ticket because I thought I had the money.
Yeah.
I had the ticket that everyone was going to kill themselves for. And then you're telling me the second night was going to be only hardcore Metallica fans from the fan club?
Yeah.
I would have preferred to be in that crowd.
Yeah.
You know? But hearing that song from as soon as that first note hit, I just, for whatever reason, I just let all that shit go. And I just started fucking bawling, dude. And then when he hit the pedal, and it sounded like fucking Cliff.
That was on the second. That was after the intermission.
Yeah,
and
the second half of that show got a little trippy in the opening. We talked about some of that already.
I remember we're sitting in our seats, and he came out by himself, and James introduced them.
Yeah,
and I fucking turned to you, and I said, "They're about to play Pulling Teeth," and you were like, "No, they're not," and I was like, "Yes, they are," and then he was like.
And he was doodling for a couple of seconds, just riffing.
It starts off real fucking just
melodic.
Yeah, melodic. And I was like, I remember because I turned to you and I was like, they're about to do Pulling Teeth. Like, I'm going to. And then all of a sudden he just started going into it. And then when the band comes in, man.
When Lars came in to do the drum part at the end, because that was it. It was just Scott Painel and Lars doing the drumming. Fuck.
Yeah, that brought a tear to my eye. I was like, I was sitting there and I was like, God damn, this is the best, because everyone, they always have bass solos. They always do something, and it's always either Rob or Jason, and then Kurt comes in and they do a little doodle thing together. But I mean, I've never heard that live.
Up until World Magnetic, when we went to Houston to San Antonio, and then you went to Dallas.
So. Yeah, it was incredible, and it just sounded amazing. So that's in the top 4.
So that was not the only time I cried. I'm not sure if you noticed it. There was one other time.
Christ.
Yeah, dude.
This couch is powerful. It's
we're gonna switch sides. I just lay out like a fucking shrink.
We might have to the next episode.
Because there's another song that I never got to hear live, which is one of my absolute favorites. Spoiler alert.
Oh no! I don't want to hear it now. Oh no, the list is ruined
because it's on this album, and I've always wanted to hear this song live. As soon as the first violinist, and then because again the announcement when they first set this show, they were not going to alter any of the performances from '99. They were going to leave all the Michael Kamen stuff sacred. So when I heard that intro bit, it's like, that sounds like Outlaw, but that's not the way they played it. And then when Lars hit the cymbal and then the band broke in, the intro to Outlaw, right in the feels, dude. Right in the freaking feels. That's the only there's a lot of performances on this concert as a guy that we've both seen Metallica 10 times that we've never seen these songs live before.
Yeah.
All within my hands. They rarely touch Saint Anger stuff live.
Yeah.
Not only did we get to see it live, but they played the rare version, the alternate version that they use on their acoustic shows.
The better version.
That's up for debate. That middle bit on the original Saint Anger part, I like pretty much more than the rest of that song. But
sorry, that's the dog.
That's Paisley, our third host.
Yeah, she'll be up here in a second, I'm sure.
Outlaw. Go.
Outlaw. Wow. Okay. I did not know that you cried or teared up for Outlaw.
I was looking to my right a lot.
I will. I guess I'll share. I'll get on the couch.
So tell me.
I teared up right at the beginning when the lights went down. When the lights went down and the fucking the good what's the song called?
The Ecstasy of Gold
come on. As soon as it hits,
and it was
because we've never heard that live.
They play that before every show, but
not live. Yeah. Not
from an actual.
I'm not watching someone perform it.
It's an actual performance.
Yeah, it's they show you the footage or you hear it.
Yeah.
So and that's game time. That's fucking
it's time.
And
you've waited a year,
and then you're gonna hear from whom the bell tells or some shit. Like something just heavy, and you're like, and so sitting in the dark. Well, it's not in the dark, but and that song started playing live, and I'm listening to an orchestra perform a symphony. They're performing that brought tear to my eye, dude. I was like, and like growing up, like I'm a little bit younger than Chris, and so we have different. Even though we're Metallica fans, we have different experiences with Metallica.
Yeah.
And so hearing that song, just it was like S&M is one of my favorite Metallica albums, and you never think that they're gonna do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought they would do it again.
I texted you that morning. It's like, bro, I didn't even tell you what it was. I told you we're going.
Yeah. And
you were like, what the fuck? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Like as soon as they announced it. Yeah. But so to hear that version live, man. Yeah. It got me. It got me. Because like I said, you hear it all the time. We've seen them 10 times. So we've seen them. And we've also said this too, after the show, we both said that if we never went and saw Metallica again, we would be happy, and that would be it.
And then we got hit Corona.
And now I will go and see Metallica anywhere now. Like I want,
except the drive-in.
Yeah, because we didn't do that. No, that's for a different time. The one place, if I ever get a chance to go and see Metallica in Scotland, I think that could be the last time that I ever see them. If I see them in Scotland. So hopefully COVID and Corona goes away soon so that they can get back to touring and we can start traveling the world again.
Yeah. I'm down.
Take
a lot of peer pressure from me. If you're going to tell me to do something, half the time you just say, hey, you want to do this? I'm in.
Was there anything else on there that you want to highlight or do you want to get onto this top 10 list?
Oh, man. I think the original recording of Clover sounded better, but I like the part after the solo where you can actually hear the crowd. Yeah, because that's every performance of No Leaf Clover since.
You're saying the original from S&M 1 is better than S&M 2?
Yeah, I think so.
Until the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The crowd on Memory, that thing could have gone another 5 minutes. We could have made a separate track of just us singing.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen clips. Night 2, they went even longer.
Oh, man. I kind of wish that the Blu-ray had both nights.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. It's hard to, I don't know. Damn.
Overall, and it's weird that I say this because I've, long time ago, the only ever symphony that I'd ever went to was in Jones Hall for something called Video Games Live. So It's a traveling orchestra. And they play video game music They play music from video games, and they'll actually show footage of the game that they're playing. Okay. They even had this little 6-year-old Asian kid behind a piano playing Tetris by himself while the thing's going. And then when the thing sped up, the kid sped up. It was that show was ridiculous. But after this show, I've been obviously COVID put a stop to a lot of things, but this has opened my mind to like, dude, I want to go just to go to symphony again downtown somewhere. I want to get immersed in a symphony again.
A couple of months before to S&M2, I went and watched Star Wars.
Williams.
Star Wars episode or the New Hope, the original movie. It was with the live orchestra.
Oh, nice.
It was cool. The music was cool. But I don't want to watch a movie. I don't want to watch the movie. I've seen the movie numerous times. I didn't pay. So
I take that back. The Star Wars tour, I saw that, and that was a symphony. Game of Thrones. Oh shit, Game of Thrones too. But that was before S&M. That was like I didn't have the connection to the other franchises. Oddly enough.
So now, whenever COVID goes away, we're gonna just start, instead of going to see Metallica, we're gonna go to symphonies now.
Yeah.
We're older, and I'm gonna shave my beard off and cut my hair.
I'm gonna buy a monocle.
So we're becoming load and reload now. Like we're in the load and reload era.
Friends don't let friends listen to symphonies. Yeah. Are you ready?
Oh man. Yes.
It's the main event.
So now that we've got S&M2 out of the way, we are going to do our top 10 favorite songs from Metallica.
Our Metallica playlist.
Yeah.
How did this come about? Do you remember?
Travis?
No, wrong. We watched pro wrestling.
Okay.
We're big wrestling fans.
Yes.
One of the podcasts that we listen to, Chris Jericho has a podcast, Talk is Jericho.
Yes.
They did an episode where they were debating the songs from Reload track by track on each album, and they were making their ultimate load album from both an ultimate album from both the tracks.
That's right.
Both albums into one playlist.
Not an original.
And then on the side, they did a Metallica 20. Their essential 20 Metallica songs. Scott decided to be a rebel and narrow it down to fucking 10, you fucking fuck. With the added caveat of no covers.
No covers.
So it's original Metallica music.
We will have honorable mentions and anything else towards there's covers and stuff like that. So there will be other than just 10. Before we get into it, I do have my top 10 on a playlist on Spotify. So if you're watching this and you want to hear it, I'm going to add Chris's later on tonight. It's a Max Power Metallica mix on Spotify. You pick it up there. It's in order. My number one is, and it goes down, and then I'll add Chris's, and it'll go down.
Oh, I want a fake name too. My name's Antonio Picante. Ooh, bringing the spice.
So if you like our list, or if you want to hear it, there'll be 20 Metallica songs on a playlist.
Hopefully 20 different songs.
Yeah, that's I don't, because
you think any on our list is going to overlap?
I think we might have one or two. Like we said, we haven't seen it.
And I just now gave one away in our talk of S&M2. So.
I've talked about one of them.
Okay. Uh-oh. All
right. So, Chris,
mine are not in order from like my favorite to last favorite. My list is album release order. So from the early part of their career, my number 10 is going to be from their most recent part of their career.
Oh, shit. No, I did it like, my number one song is my number one Metallica song.
Okay, not mine. So we can just keep going that way.
All right.
Ladies first, it's your podcast.
No, as my guest on my podcast.
Oh, I'm popping the cherry, huh?
You are popping the cherry. Let me hear it.
I'm going to preface this.
Okay, wait. Before we do it, we will have...
I wrote this at work.
The track number? No, you wrote the track number?
I can probably remember. I don't have the year. You have the year.
On mine?
On yours, yeah.
So I'm going to have the name of the song, the album, the year, and the track number.
Okay. I can probably remember. I'm gonna lay this out there. If you're expecting like the fan favorites, the staples, the hits, the stuff that made Metallica famous, look over there, possibly. Because I don't think I have that on my list.
We both said it. We said it early in the show.
So
there is no. I mean,
so my number. So if I'm starting from my list. Kill 'Em All. There is not a song from Kill 'Em All on my essential top 10.
Okay.
There are a couple of my honorable mentions, but they didn't crack my 10.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to skip one. Ride the Lightning. Okay. Opening track. Fight Fire with Fire.
Ooh.
That's the first song on my list.
Why? It's not meaning why. Like, why would you pick that? Why did you pick that? Like, let's get into the discussion. Why?
There's a lot to take into consideration. I don't think I've heard this song live before, but I've heard it live enough. It's catchy. The riff is fast.
Gets to the point.
It gets to the point.
Right into it.
The fucking solo in here with the harmonizing on the second part of the solo, Lars's double bass. You want to start off an album? This is the track you start off an album with.
This was 1984.
Yeah, track 1 from Ride the Lightning.
4 years before I was born.
Wow.
So there's a little preference. Well, my number 10 is from the same album.
Oh.
Okay. It is track number 3.
Yo.
It's one of my personal favorite. One of my personal favorite live performances. You could play there's Enter Sandman and those kind of things. You hear them and you could leave, like you said, you could leave early. But my song, my number 10, From Whom the Bell Tolls.
And then Rob, the way he plays it now, he has that extra little little Pushenko. Oh,
it's the drums. It just sounds like metal. It's a fucking, the lyrics are cool.
Yeah.
I like. It's kind of cool if you go to the Metallica website, you can read all the lyrics.
Yeah.
Of every song. So while I actually made this playlist, I sat in my bed and I read the lyrics and I listened to the lyrics. I've been listening to this playlist for 4 days now. Just if I'm in my car driving, if I'm in bed reading my comics, I'm just going. So yeah, From Whom the Bell Tolls.
There's this cool thing I like to do. So episode 0, if it ever reaches your ears, we kind of tease the whole Metallica topic. And mostly every woman that's been in my life that I've taken to Metallica, they're no longer with me.
Same.
But one thing I like to do to kind of act a little cocky, like to show off a little, when For Whom the Bell Tolls plays live, yeah. What's it? James screams, "Take a look to the sky just before you die. It's the last time you will." He goes like this, and all the lights go out, and I'm always with my arm around my girl. I go and then I time it like I'm gonna do this, and then I snap my fingers, and the lights go out, and I get them every single time. At least that night, because obviously, you see her. There's nobody here. But yeah, I like that pick.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm next.
Number 9, go ahead.
All right. Next album. Whatever reason, Fight doesn't tickle your pickle as an album opener. Try Battery.
Ooh.
Opener for Master of Puppets. Yeah, that's
19.
You get punched on the right face with Fight, and you get punched in the left side with Battery.
1986. So 2 years later.
Batería.
That's why it's another hard, heavy.
Calm little intro bit before the song picks up.
The breakdown. Yeah. If we were doing 20,
the outro, last 30 seconds.
If we were doing top 20, it would be in my top 20.
Yeah.
And I almost put it in my top 10 actually, but I went with From Master of Puppets.
Oh no.
Track number 4. Welcome Home. Sanitarium. That song has a badass riff. It breakdown cool.
That's a template of your staples of metal music. The beginning's very mellow, very melodic. the chorus is in your face, and then when you get to once that second chorus is done and you're about to go into your breakdown, fuck that riff. Just a simple chord. But it fucking
and it gets you. And it's, I think it's like the early stuff is like, that's what Metallica sounds like.
Yeah.
You know? Like, oh man, Metallica. It's like, oh, you're like pretending you're listening to Battery. You know, like, I think, Matt, you're listening to Master of Puppets when you're like, when you do that, Metallica. It's like, you know, you're not listening to, you know, well, I guess Entertainment and shit.
And it's easy for people that are not fans of Metallica to think of the band and just think of nothing but heavy, heavy shit. If you were to play the first, like, 3 minutes of Sanitarium to a casual person, they wouldn't think it's Metallica.
Exactly.
They would think it's something else.
I mean, Kurt could be put into an orchestra, a symphony. That he could be the guitarist in a symphony. He's that good.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want me to go next, or you want to go again? You want to keep going?
I keep going. Battery is not the only song from Master of Puppets that's on here. There is a song that not only my mother but my grandmother liked. One of the very few songs from Metallica that either of those women in my life liked. And I learned of this revelation before, very recent, before both of them passed away. Because first it was my grandmother, and then within about 3 or 4 months, my grandfather, and then a couple months after that, my mom.
And this is your mom's parents?
My dad's parents.
Okay.
So it has to be something on that album. If we already teased it with Sanitarium, where if you play the first like 3 or 4 minutes, you can't tell it's Metallica. You can just label it as good music that anybody can appreciate. Mm-hmm. Multiply that by 2, and you get Orion.
That's a good song.
Orion, man.
That is a good song, man.
Yeah.
That's a cool. That's,
you know, you mentioned earlier when Rob does the doodles, or when Jason used to do the doodles, Kirk would always come and they would play that soft section in the middle where you could hear the guitar crying with the bass just in the background keeping up.
We talked about this whenever they released what was that movie?
Through the Never, and they played that.
Played it at the end. Yeah. I was kind of hoping when we went and saw S&M2 that they would play it at the end with like an orchestra, like change it up a little bit and like add some stuff to it as like a bonus. I thought that would have been really cool too, but whatever. That is a damn good song.
Detour, because I don't think we asked this question in the symphony talk. Pick one song that you would have added to that album that wasn't played?
Oh, man.
Whether it was done before by the symphony or not.
Oh man, I'd have to come back on that one.
Okay,
you got one?
I think we'd have to come back on that too.
Yeah, I mean Orion would be good just to like see if I want to see what they would come up with for the orchestra side.
Yeah.
I mean I could probably add I'm sure there's a bunch that I could pick, but I just can't think of anything right now.
Because there's so many options.
Yeah, I mean they've got 40 plus years of songs.
So I got Orion on my list, also from the Master of Puppets. That's track number 7.
No, 7. Yeah,
7, because Damage is after that.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 8 from Death Magnetic.
Oh, one of their more recent albums.
2008. Track number 4.
Oh, we mentioned it earlier. You just talked about it.
The Day That Never Comes. I just think it's just a badass song, dude. Before the symphony version, when I heard this song, when I bought this CD and I put it in and I listened to it, this song stuck out to me and I was like, man, just I don't know what something about James's lyrics as he's gotten older and as the band's gotten older, it's like and after seeing everything that they went through and like, you know, watched like Some Kind of Monster and just seeing James the way he was, like this, and then adding in the symphony on S&M2. Man.
When Death Magnetic first came out, I was not the biggest fan of this song. I thought it was a literal ripoff of One.
Okay, I could see that.
Even down to the theme of war. This felt like One. This felt like 1-2.
Okay.
And then it didn't help that because I collect a lot of. For anybody that doesn't know, livemetallica.com, you can buy most of their shows from at least 2004 up till now.
Yeah.
And I have about 98% of those shows on my computer from 2004 to now. So half the time that they play that song live during the fast part, the second half of the song, they fuck it up somewhere.
Wow.
So it was starting to fall out of my good graces. But S&M2 brought it right back up to where this would probably be creeping in my 18, 19, 20 slot if we reached out to 20.
Not so.
But we did not.
All right.
Yeah.
You're number 7. I'm guessing you're going. Are we going?
And Justice for All.
And Justice for All.
It's not what I just mentioned. It's not one. I told you. Most of these hits, if not all the hits you're expecting, are not on my list.
Okay.
I've already given you 2 openers.
Are we going with the third opener?
Let me give you a closer.
Oh,
Dyer's Eve. If you read those lyrics to Dyer's Eve, James had a fucked up childhood, bro.
Yeah. Ooh, man.
My introduction to Metallica was speed skating to like Battery and Master of Puppets, in the early 90s at Airline Skate Center. So a friend of mine's like, "Oh, you like those songs? Let me introduce you to this." It wasn't One. It wasn't Blackened. It was fucking Dyer's Eve.
Sorrow,
it was Dyer's Eve.
Wow.
Lars on that double bass pedal like he's running a fucking marathon. Yeah. That solo from Kirk where for 1 second he's like frenetically going up and down on the strings, and then the next is the harmonized solo, and then back and then back again with the harmony. It's the lyrics, bro. It just lyrically I could relate to that song.
Okay.
Growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, being told if you like it, don't do it. So it hit home for me.
That is a good song.
Dyer's Eve.
Ooh.
That's on my list from And Justice for All.
Wow. Okay.
Beat that. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is from 1997. Track number 2 on Reload.
Oh.
The Memory Remains.
Wow. It's funny when we listen to that podcast with Jericho, one of his guests said that The Memory Remains might be the best song Metallica's ever written.
That's just a cool song, man. I like it a lot. And it sounds great with the orchestra, too.
So that helps. A lot of this got juiced with the orchestra.
I think it did.
I would have loved Marianne Faithfull to be there, but then again, the crowd would have hijacked that shit. Yeah. And it's a live performance. The crowd hijacks that all the time. Not in a negative way. They want the crowd to do it.
Her voice on that is just, it's creepy.
It's eerie.
It's creepy. It's eerie. It kind of makes your skin kind of curl like, oh man, what the hell? But hearing it live.
Did you ever watch back when MTV was kind of cool? They used to do the behind the video. Mm-hmm. They did one for that video. Mm-hmm. So it was like a box, but it was inside this huge box. But instead of the stage rotating, the box had cameras mounted on it, so the box was rotating. So that's why there's clips where you can see like James hanging off the pole and the thing going around. But just knowing that stuff, so you got 20 minutes of seeing the whole thing put together. Yeah. So that when you heard, because again, I don't think that song was the first one to hit radio. So we hadn't heard that song until you watched this episode. So finally hearing the whole, it was cool, man.
When I was a kid. When I moved here, I started listening to bands like that. Like I heard Metallica for the first time, and, like with my listening ears. Not everyone hears Metallica back in the day, and so I would just late at night, 2, 3 in the morning, I would sit on my couch and I would put on MTV or I'd put on VH1. And it'd be Metal Hour or whatever,
Headbangers Ball,
and I would write down every band that I liked. So I'd see a band, I'd see I'd see Quiet Riot and they'd be performing, or I'd see, Saxon and they'd be performing, and it'd be like, or it's either performance or it would be a music video. And it's all new to me. I've never heard this stuff. So I was like,
So you got a sheet a mile long of like Anthrax, Megadeth, Pantera,
everything.
Yeah.
But then I would go, on the Motley Crue side and Poison and all those kind of bands. And I would just write all these bands down. I'd write, because at the front, it would show up in the little bottom of the screen. It would say Metallica,
Name, the band, the song name, the album name.
Sometimes it would put the
director, and then the album, the record label.
And so I would write them down, and then I would go to Warehouse Music, and I would just buy. And my parents would just let me. They would just be like, pick out what you want. And so I'd buy like 4 or 5 CDs, and I'd be picking up Fistful of Metal from Anthrax. I'd be picking up, Reload and Load. I actually know exactly where I was when I bought Reload. I was at the airport. I was going home for either the summer or Christmas, and I went to the music store. There was a music store in the mall, in the airport at George Bush. I can't remember what it was called. It was just, and they had CDs, and I was like, Metallica was my thing. I decided Metallica was my thing, and I'm scrolling through it, and I picked it up, and I thought it was like fire, and it was like Reload, and I was like, oh man! So I just bought that, put that thing in and I listened to it my entire 13-hour flight,
nonstop, on loop.
Yeah, oh yeah,
wow.
I kids these days don't know this with your Spotify's and your all this kind of stuff, but you used to have to carry CDs around with you.
Yeah.
So I had one of those hard shell.
Oh, the Case Logic book things.
So you opened it one side and there was CDs. You opened the other side, there was CDs, and it was filled with every kind of fucking metal band, every album you could think of, and I would just sit there and I would play.
Wow.
So yeah, that was my
memory remains number 7.
Number 6.
Oh man.
Oh, he's got double-sided. He's just. Are you changing it up?
Nah. From Load.
Okay.
96.
Yeah, they came out. Yeah. They came a year before.
From Load. Spoiler. It's Outlaw Torn. Yeah.
I have nothing from Load on my list.
And that's another example like you. I wasn't a huge fan of Load. But then S&M came out in 9, and you had Outlaw Torn and Bleeding Me on there, symphonized, and hearing the solo on Outlaw.
This is Paisley. Paisley's our third host.
Hearing the symphony do Outlaw, and the solo from Kurt, and then the lyrics that got me were the last set of lyrics that are repeated before and after the solo, and then the song ends.
Mm-hmm.
Or see me strut, remind me of what left this outlaw torn. And it hooked me. And then as the years went on, I started diving headfirst into the deep end and just started hearing Load and Reload. Because Load from quote-unquote hardcore Metallica fans, they shun it.
Oh, yeah.
They don't exist. Like those albums have sperm on the cover. And on the back, it's got the guys with their haircut. They look like pimps. And that's not the Metallica I grew up with. The Metallica I grew up with was in my back pocket. Now after a Black Album, they're too big to fit in my back pocket. So Load and Reload, fuck that shit. But Outlaw was my gateway to Load and Reload. And it was because of the first Symphony album. So
cool.
Hearing the lyrics and then coming full circle with you at California, hearing it live for the first time. The first time hearing Outlaw live was the first time I enjoyed Outlaw, and it was with the symphony. So that whole thing came together.
Yeah, it's a full circle.
Yeah. So that would probably crack my top 3. Possibly my favorite.
Wow.
Outlaw.
Okay.
Outlaw.
What's
your 6?
My number 6 from Reload again.
Ah!
Not what you think. Unforgiven 2.
Talk about a song that gets shit on by Metallica fans. Yet the last 5 years or 6 years, it's one of the few songs that they hadn't played live. Yeah. So when they start playing it live, it'd be not to steal your thunder because you picked that song. Metallica overseas did a small tour that was called By Request, where fan members would pick would vote on songs, and the top 18 songs that were picked would be played at these shows. And certain fans mobilized to get certain songs on the thing. Freight Ends was the first time I think they ever played that song live, period.
Yeah.
And that was because of that tour.
Which is weird, because there's some songs that just don't play, like bands don't play live.
They don't translate live for whatever reason.
It sounds good on
or
CD,
it's too hard. Yeah.
It's there's too much going on, or it just doesn't sound right in an arena type environment. Another
song that made the cut was Unforgiven 2. They had only played that song once. Do you remember where?
No, I have no idea.
So they won a Billboard award for that song, and Metallica played that song live in 1998 on like Fox. That's the only time they had ever played that song live. So after they played it live in this last decade from the Request tour, they actually brought it back for a couple of years, and they started playing that song.
I'm just a sucker for the Unforgiven songs. Like, I love all three of them. I think all three of them are just great.
Do you ever once in a while hear the whole thing in order from 1, 2 to 3?
I haven't done it. I was gonna do it for this because I was thinking about putting 3 on my list.
Again, Symphony.
Because it's fresh. I'm gonna say it now. I'm sure if we did this podcast in a month, it would be a completely different list. But there'd be a bunch of songs on there that because it's your mood.
Lyrically and musically, there are times that I would pick the third Unforgiven over the first one. I like the third one that much.
Yeah.
And that was before the Symphony.
Yeah.
They gave it a completely different coat of paint.
Yep.
In this show. Yeah. But 2's got its charm. I like 2.
It's just it's got
some of the lyrics are a little bit corny. Unforgiven 2, because you're Unforgiven 2.
But it makes sense.
Yeah, it goes. I like the fact that since you mentioned it. So the first song is basically the way the first song is. It's mellow, and then when the lyrics go in, the song gets heavy, and then the chorus, the song's mellow. For Unforgiven 2, they completely flipped it.
Yeah.
So like the lyrics, the intro is heavy, the lyrics are mellow, and then when they go into the chorus, it gets heavy again, and then I like that contrast between the 2 songs.
What's your number 5?
Oh shit, my number 5. Where's my list? You got my list?
No, I don't have it.
Oh, it's on the floor. Trickery.
Number 4.
So I saw this music video. And
Wait, what are we on? Wait, are we on Reload now?
Possibly.
Well,
I saw this
going on order.
Well, I did, yeah. So I did Load Outlaw. My next song is not from Load. My next song's from Reload.
It better not be fucking Fuel, because you better get the fuck out of this house. Is it Fuel?
It's Fuel. Yeah, we complain. When we go see them live. I'm sick of hearing Fuel. When playing it live, they have their fuck ups. It's not the same. But again, do you remember the music video for Fuel? It's a whole bunch of hot rods. There's a whole bunch of racing.
It starts off like super close to the mic, right? And it's kind of like almost like a fisheye, like camera. So he's kind of like. Yeah. He's close, but he's not close.
The music videos got cars racing. They've got cars wrecking. This is the ultimate like car song if you're a car guy. The double bass.
Am I thinking of something else? But is there a part where it goes into the car and you see the engine on fire and like moving and
the pistons going up and everything? Okay. Yeah.
Because there's a couple bands that have done that, but that I shit on that song.
You just did. You shit on me. You almost threw me out.
Yeah. And the only reason I shit on it is because they play it every show.
Enough to have that opinion.
Yes. So it's up there, but
watching it live in the pyro with all the fire going. Oh my god, you get a 10 in the front row.
I'm pretty sure I've said every time we've seen Metallica 3 times together. Now.
Yes.
As like we've been to a couple of the same shows, but we've been to 3 together.
Yeah.
And I'll say it every single time. I'm like, they better not play Fuel. But then when Fuel starts,
we're all about it.
I'm all about it. To me, I think I've said this before to you off camera. To me, I don't think there's a bad Metallica song. I just think there's like
songs you gravitate to more than others.
Yes. Like if you gave me let's say someone compiled a list of the worst Metallica songs, the less played live and from the albums, right? Let's say you could figure it out. I would still listen to them because I probably have a memory for each and every song that Metallica have, sitting where I was, kind of thing. It's a damn good song, but it gets played a lot. It's
at one time it became the only song radio played, and that sometimes tends to be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm of the firm opinion, just me here talking, that the biggest reason people hate Nickelback is because radio overplays the ballads and they don't play enough of the heavy shit. Mm-hmm. The heavy shit is so good, but people don't know that. Even when you go, I've been to several Nickelback shows.
The old heavy, they don't really do that much now, do they?
It's not as consistent as it was. Yeah. The second, third, and fourth album, you can compile an album worth of heavy shit, and without telling people it's Nickelback, they'll like it.
Yeah.
And then once they find out, dude, they have a song that has Dimebag Darrell with a solo on it.
Yeah, I have. I'm pretty sure I have their first or second. I think it's their second album,
The Long Road.
I think I bought that because I was like, this band goes, and I had nothing against Nickelback. I don't listen to them, but I don't shit on them because they're doing shit that I can't do.
Yeah.
And he's dating Avril Lavigne. He was.
Yeah.
He was married to her. I'm not married to her. I'm never going to be married to her. So unless you're out there, hey, what's up? But she's a clone, you know. She's a clone. She actually died. And...
Yeah, she came back as like an Olsen twin reject.
Yeah.
Like an Olsen third.
Yeah. So
at that time, Fuel was that popular that if you requested Metallica on the radio station back then, you actually called radio stations and asked for songs.
Also,
okay, can I get a Metallica song? Yeah. 10 minutes later, give me Fuel, give me Fuck, give me Shabba Jabba Da.
Also, what was it? Every night or every
mandatory Metallica Monday through Fridays.
For 1 hour, they would play 2 songs because
they'll devote between the first 10 and 25 minutes at 10 o'clock to just straight Metallica.
Yeah, and
and they play everything. Like they'll play songs that they never play on the radio. Like they did. I asked you about the Unforgiven story because one night they played Pulling Teeth, Cthulhu, and Orion.
What?
Back to back, all instrumentals.
Okay.
So that back then when radio was still a thing, and Fuel was for a while was all over it. So it's easy for people, Exhibit A, for whatever reason, not be a fan of Fuel. And then when we're there, Fuel,
I mean, I didn't really listen to radio growing up, but I mean, it's a good one. It is a good song. It gets you going.
You're number 5.
This one is going to be a little controversy. A little
controversial.
It is from 2003. It is Saint Anger. From Saint Anger.
Wow. Defend the lyrics. Even Paisley's arguing with you.
I know, she's all agitated now.
She's like, frantic.
So like we said earlier, we have different experiences. Stop. We have different experiences with Metallica. I grew up not really knowing Metallica until
time out. Should I go pee?
Yeah. Patrick just came on. But... Hey, come on.
Sit. defend the lyrics of Saint Anger.
I don't think you can. But growing up, I told you we had different experiences. I didn't know Metallica until like of Metallica's backstory and songs until like early 2000s. And I told you this story when I went downtown for a soccer convention the week that Saint Anger got released back in 2003. And as a kid, you don't really know albums have release dates, stuff like that. I knew it was coming out, and it's Metallica. It's like becoming my favorite band. So I was downtown. I was in 2003. I'm what, 13, 14. We check into the hotel. I'm with my parents. We check into the hotel. I'm wearing a Metallica t-shirt, as a teenager kid did. And the receptionist at the hotel was like, "Have you listened to the new album?" And I was like, "It's out." And she was like, "Yeah, it came out today, right? It was like a Friday or Tuesday, whatever."
Tuesday.
Right? She was like, "Yeah, it came out on Tuesday." And I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "No." And she was like, "Well," I was like, "Is there like a record store around here so I can go buy it?" Because I had my CD player with me, And so me and my parents, we're both we don't. There used to be a Soundwave downtown or close to downtown.
Soundwave, Park Shops Mall.
And the Best Buy and all those were all gone, so couldn't find it. Couldn't find it, and we didn't have we couldn't leave, right? We couldn't. So I was pissed. I was a kid. I want, it's the new shiny toy you can't have until Christmas or your birthday, and you're like, Mom! I want to play it. I want to someone go get it for me. So I think maybe that night, I was probably the next day, I'm walking by reception, and the receptionist goes, "Hey," and she burned me a copy, and on a CD, if you remember this back in the day, she had written all the song lists, all the songs, and I was like, "This is cool as shit." And then I went and bought the CD, and I opened it up, and it's all red, and it's got all this, all the fists and stuff. And so this was like, I don't want to say it's shitty, because like I said, there's no bad Metallica songs. Watching the music video when they're in the prison,
San Quentin. You will not trade your life for the life of an inmate.
And then watching Some Kind of Monster and seeing the creation of the album.
There's a new appreciation for that word.
Yeah. I just think I like the song.
All right. I can't argue that. I mean, you have your opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I know it's not the most popular song, and that's why it's not my number one. But I grew up with Saint Anger. That was
that memory of you and the receptionist.
Yeah, the receptionist. Like I said, there's always I could probably for the most part tell you a story of every one of these songs where I'm like, this is why I like this song, or this is why I don't like the song. So yeah, number 5 was Saint Anger.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. It makes sense.
Number 4. We're getting down to the nitty gritty.
For you. You said Metallica material, correct?
I did.
The next song on my list, chronologically, is No Leaf Clover from S&M, 1999.
Oh, man.
1999.
Okay.
It just...
Why?
To begin with, even when I went to church, the music was mostly piano and a couple of violins, but that was my first exposure to actual symphony music.
Okay.
So hearing Metallica like this for 10 or 12 years, and then hearing S&M on a brand new song, that a demo from the cutting room floor of Load and Reload that they wanted to try with the symphony, and they made what it ended up being No Leaf Clover. The lyrics are very simple. The song itself is quite simple, easy peasy chorus comes to be the soothing light at the end of your tunnel's a freight train coming your way.
That is a good line. Yeah.
And then
a good line.
You have the symphony music, and then the next second you have da 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 da, and then the symphony backs it up because that first half of that riff, it's just the band. So then when the symphony comes in behind it with the horns and the it added a completely different dimension. It blew me away. And that was one of the if I go to the brewery, that's like the craft beer I'm drinking. I went to that show specifically knowing that out of 20 songs on that set list, the one guarantee is No Leaf Clover.
Okay.
Even if I didn't like the 19 other songs, if the other 19 songs are just a fucking symphony and all I got was Clover,
you'd be happy?
It would have been worth it.
Wow.
Clover, No Leaf Clover.
Okay. That's a bomb at you can't go wrong with that.
Your number 4.
My number 4 is the title track to the third album,
Master of Puppets.
This
is the first probably staple that we have between you and I on our lists.
Yeah.
Master of Puppets.
It's Master of Puppets.
The fans voted that as the ultimate Metallica song. There was a bracket on Facebook.
It's actually the most played live song from Metallica.
Yeah.
They played more than any other song.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to say much about it. It's Master.
The lyrics hit you in the face. Melodically, that thing takes you on a roller coaster.
Most people who know Metallica, when it comes to obviously Nothing Else Matters and Enter Sandman, it's Master. I think it's Master of Puppets. Obviously, it's the number one voted song, and it's the most played most live performance they've ever done is Master of Puppets.
If there's one song from the first 4 albums where you listen to it and think that's Cliff Burton, it's Master of Puppets, because Cliff Burton was the penumblant orchestra guy.
Yeah.
He loved all kinds of orchestra music.
He liked everything.
And if you were to replace guitars and drums with cellos, violins, and horns, you can hear a symphonic version of that song, and it would blow your freaking mind.
Yeah.
The song starts heavy, and then it goes slow, and it doesn't just go fast again. It builds up.
And bands these days don't do that.
They don't understand the concept of that.
It's heavy and fast for 3.5 minutes, or
then it's hypnotic for 1.5 minutes, and then it's like waking a baby up. Just have to shake it a little bit. Oh, you're not moving. Let me shake you a little more. Oh, now I gotta yell at you to wake you up, and then it wakes you up like a bucket of cold water to the face.
Cool. You're number 3.
Cool. The 8th song on my list. I just gave you shit for Saint Anger. My pick is The Unnamed Feeling. That is probably... There are songs on Saint Anger I like. There's songs on Saint Anger that I'm indifferent to. I think Unnamed Feeling might be the riskiest song Metallica's ever written. And I would even put that on top of Unforgiven 3. Okay. I think James literally is wearing his heart on his sleeve on the lyrics for Unnamed, and just the approach the band takes on it. It's like their formula.
Yeah.
Sanitarium 1, Day That Never Comes, where it starts slow and then it builds up to this huge second half. It's like they melded that. They took that recipe and kind of did something to it, because it feels like it, but it's not. But somehow it just freaking works. And you would think, for all the crap that Metallica fans still give it because that song doesn't have a solo, and out of the songs that Metallica does play live from that album, they didn't add a solo to that. They just play it straight through the way it is on the album. I think that's the best song on Saint Anger. And that's the ballsiest song that Metallica's done in their entire career.
I would, that's probably.
And then you add the knowing the creation of the music through
I would put that
monster.
Yeah, that's a damn good song. Out of everything on Saint Anger, I think there's 3 there's at least 2 songs that I could listen to without, and it'd be Saint Anger and it'd be that one. So it's a good one.
Yeah. You're number 3.
I'm going back again in time. My number 3 from Ride the Lightning. Track number 4.
Oh, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black. This was one of my favorites. It is
Again,
always,
the Metallica mold. Start slow, finish heavy.
The lyrics, you can feel it. You can hear it in his voice when he's. Oh man, it's so cheesy. But when I was a kid, I always wanted a tattoo. It's so cheesy. I'm so glad I didn't do it.
We still got time.
No, I know.
And you got alcohol.
I got plenty of alcohol, and not so much time. I wanted.
Are you sick, bro?
No. I can't taste.
You're younger than me.
I can't taste anything, but it's all good.
Oh, you lost your sense of smell too?
Yeah.
It's like a fart you wouldn't notice.
I wanted a tattoo of a guitar on my arm, like a V, right? Like a flying V, like fucking nice, and it would say "Fade to Black" on it, like somewhere in the.
Oh,
tattoo.
if I pay for it, we're doing it.
I'll get it right here in my leg. I just something about that song to me I don't know. It's just a damn good song.
It's one of the first songs that I ever heard from Metallica, not at the skating rink. And the reason it hooked me is because every pop song I've heard, even rock music, old school metal like Rat and Poison and Twisted Sister, it's lyrics, chorus, lyrics, chorus. There's either a break in the music or there's a solo and then the chorus again and then you're done.
Yeah.
This was like poetry in music. It's just 3 sets of lyrics and that's it.
And
the rest is left to interpretation in between with the chorus of music and then the end of the song with Kurt just going off for a minute and a half on a solo.
Again, it's another Cliff and Kurt just going at it.
Yeah.
With James's lyrics.
Yeah.
You're number 2. We're almost there.
We're almost
at
there.
the end. And then we got the honorable mentions, and then what are we at now on yours? Is this Death Magnetic now?
We're at Death Magnetic now.
Oh. All right, Death Magnetic.
There's a lot on that album I like. I'm a huge fan of All Nightmare Long. Mostly, it's just those 3 minutes in the middle where it's like fucking. It's just crazy ass music.
It's organized chaos.
Yeah. Cyanide. The lyrics to Cyanide. I think that's probably one of the few songs that I've heard, let alone a song from Metallica, that James literally talks about it by saying the word suicide. You know, I've never heard him say that in any other lyrics before Death Magnetic.
Yeah, I mean,
so
saying it, but Fade to Black does have that that kind of feel to it, the very dark spot to it.
But it's not obvious.
Yeah.
It's obvious when you like, instead of being vague about the topic, you just say suicide. So
that's a damn good song.
The breakdown with the solo, and then Rob on the bass. That Rob has that bass section in between.
Plus, this is the return of solos.
The return of
solos. We did have
solos.
and Saint Anger.
Yeah,
people can bitch.
They added some on the live performance of some of the songs, but it's not the same.
From CD to CD. And then people complain. Death Magnetic to me was
the first Death Magnetic to me was the comeback album.
It was the I've got my Metallica back or Metallica's back kind of feel, and I think that's and then it just I think it got amplified with Hardwire to me.
Yeah, Cyanide.
That's your number 2.
Yeah, and I'm jealous that you were there for the debut.
That's actually.
I hadn't heard that song played live in person until at least 7 years after that album came out.
Do you have Ozfest? Is
that
I have an option on there?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna jump on that then. I had my honorable mention was that Ozfest show because I wasn't gonna go. I'd never driven to Dallas by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a car So it was 2000. What is this? 2008, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so it was like 2008 or
It
2007.
was summer of 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had just graduated high school. Graduated 2007. So I was still, I knew how to drive, but I didn't, I don't know if I could drive all the way to Dallas. So I wasn't going to. I was like, you know what? It's Ozfest. Who's on there that I've seen Metallica a couple times. I've seen Ozzy a couple times.
August 9th, 2008 was Ozfest that you went to.
Okay. And then I saw my buddy. He used to work at GameStop on Highway 6 in my neighborhood. And him and his girlfriend were like, and who I used to go to high school with her. She was super cool. They were like, "Oh, we're going," and I was like, "Oh, y'all are gonna go?" And she was like, "Hell yeah, we're gonna go." And I was like, "Well, if y'all go, then I'll go." And then so stupid me, I went and bought a ticket, and then they were both like, "Well, he has to work, so we're gonna show up late." And I was like, "Well, if I'm paying money to go to Ozfest, I'm going to Ozfest." And so I drove to Dallas by myself for the very first time. I had a TomTom navigation. Right when I got into Dallas, if you're driving from Houston to Dallas, you drive towards downtown. A fucking mattress flew in the air off of a truck, 2 cars in front of me. So I saw this mattress fly up in the air. It landed before I did. I got out of the way. But as a young driver, a new driver, it's
First
scary,
time on the road.
Scary as shit, A car drove over it and it got wrecked, and I was lucky I moved out of the way. Go in, I see, there's this is right around the time they did the Damage Plan band,
mm-hmm.
and they had it wasn't System of a Down, but it was Surge's. What was it called? It was the lead singer Surge. It was like his
Axis of Justice or something.
Yeah, it was like a mix of. So there was like, I think Scotty Ian from Anthrax was the guitarist, and then like there's a bunch of random people playing. There was I think this the Sword were playing, so I saw them. There's a couple cool bands. And then I had to nature calls. I had to take a poop. And so I pooped while Ozzy Osbourne was playing, and it sounded amazing. Because you're not in the front of the crowd. And I just went and saw. I think I just went and saw Ozzy the year before, and he sounded horrible. Him and Zach Wild was horrible. Like, it was the worst I've ever seen. And so I was like, I don't really care. I'm gonna go. I went and saw Metallica, and they came out and they said, "Hey, we just finished our mastering our album. It's gonna be out pretty soon. Do you guys want to hear a track?" And of course, everyone's like, "Hell yeah!" So they played Cyanide, and it was insane. It was cool.
That's your honorable mention. Cyanide's on your honorable mention.
That whole show, but yes. Also, which will lead in. That was number 2, right?
Yeah.
That will lead into my number 2,
which is
from Injustice for All.
Oh,
it is 1.
Yes, you're good. I'm glad you're balancing out some of the hits.
1 to me, it's another just badass song. It's got cool breakdowns. It's got cool lyrics. It's got cool everything. But that was one of the. Okay, it was a stadium show. So it was an outdoor stadium show. So that was one of the first times where they did the pyro. So obviously in the song it's about war. So there's a part where you hear the plane flying over and it's blowing up. And so on the stage, it went from left to right as if machine guns were shooting the ground. And it was blowing up. And I was just sitting back and I was like, this is
badass.
This is badass. Like, seeing it on like a massive scale, because you see it in Toyota Center or whatever, and it's loud, but seeing it going across like you feel like a plane is flying over you. Man.
And then when the part gets heavy and the lights go out, you just hear like the machine guns, the lights are going in and out.
And so seeing it, and so every time I see that show, every time I go to a show, I see it, and it's cool as shit, So, and the music video is cool. All black and white, and
yeah,
it's a badass song. Your number 1, which I'm guessing is now It's now Hardwire.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hardwired.
It is.
So my last song's from Hardwired. I could have changed my mind and said there's no Hardwired on here.
Okay, that's
so.
Fair. But
this album's only been out 4 years. This came out in 2016. So it would have to be something bananas for it to make my Metallica 10. And there's some interesting songs on there. There's fans that say that that Death Magnetic was a Metallica comeback album. This sounds like a fan favorite Metallica album because there's stuff in here for everyone.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Load Reload stuff. There's a lot of Sabbathy stuff. There's stuff from fucking Kill 'Em All on here.
I have a feeling I know what song it is.
Take a guess.
Okay, you've been wanting to hear the song live in person for years. Is it Spit Out the Bone?
Spit Out the Bone.
Yes, I fucking knew it.
And as a matter of fact, I've actually seen this live. I went on a date and I went to see to Little Rock on a Labor Day weekend.
Right, that's right.
And this was when Worldwide had already been out for a while.
That was the second tour, right? The second.
Yeah, they'd already been overseas, and overseas is where they debuted Spit. So when they came back, fans were like, "All right, Spit needs to be in the encore," and it was hit or miss.
Yeah.
And so again, I have all these concerts. After 4 days, the concerts are already online. And in a bootleg group that I'm in, we switch and swap, and I have all these shows. So there's a different intro to Spit live than it is on the album.
I haven't heard it.
And so when I heard the first thump of the pedal on the recording, I was like, "It's fucking Spit! Thank God! Oh my God! Yes!"
Out of all the songs,
and dude, it's hard to pick because, to be honest, my favorite part of Hardwired is Sawblade.
Okay.
So in the making of Hardwired, there's videos for every song. Yeah. There's like 20-minute YouTube videos for the making of every song on that album. And there's a bit called Sawblade, which is in Am I Savage? And it's at the 4-minute, 10-second mark where the riff it's a very simple riff, but it's a riff that I'd never heard that I would have never expected from Metallica. And I could hear that last like 2 minutes of Am I Savage forever.
Yeah.
But that's not a whole song.
Yeah.
The first minute of Now That We're Dead with the riff slowly, and you add a little more to the riff, and then you add a little more to the riff. You add a little more to the riff. The Hardwired in general, when that song first came out, right now on my iTunes, that's my most played song, Hardwired. But it's only 3.5 minutes. Most of the Hardwired isn't 3.5 minutes. Yeah. Halo is climbing up the ranks after the Symphony show. There's a intro bit in Man Unkind where James's voice echoes through some of that interlude, and it just blows my fucking mind. But from start to finish, it gives me the roller coaster effect that Master of Puppets does.
Okay. I got you.
Except it's fucking relentless.
Yeah.
After that little bass solo bit, it beats
you up, man.
It rapes you.
It beats you up and spits you out.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It spits out the bone.
And honestly, that's another song where at first listen, I'm like, they didn't record this in one take. This is one of those songs that's copy paste.
Yeah.
I heard them play it live, and a part of me still didn't believe it. I saw it with thine own 2 eyes, and it was whoop, spit out the bone. The lyrics too, man. Overall, it's a new song that if you play to old Metallica fans that had not heard that song and you not tell them that's Metallica, they'll be like, "Holy fuck, what is this?" Hey, it's a new Metallica. New Metallica. Yeah. They went, that they went full circle with this last album. For them to end it with Spit and start it with Hardwired,
that's a good one. No, that's a good one.
Spit's my number 10. That rounds out in chronological order, my Metallica 10. What's your number 1, brother?
So my number 1,
it's gotta be fucking Sandman. Something obvious.
It's Nothing Else Matters. No, I told you there's nothing from Black. I have nothing from the Black Album on here.
Okay.
So he did his in order. So it's not your favorite song.
Spit?
Yeah.
It might be in my top 5. It would begrudgingly take me at least an hour to try to rank every song on my Metallica 10.
Well, you've had an hour and something, so
fuck.
Yeah.
Outlaws in my top 3. Dyer's Eve might be in my top 3. Spit's in my top 5, so it's probably either 4 or 5. So if I would have to go top 3, I would probably say Outlaw, Dyer's, either Fight or Battery.
Okay.
And Spit. That's my top 5 right there.
Okay.
What's your number 1? You don't have anything from Hardwired on this list so far.
Do I? Or do I not?
What's your number 1? Halo.
My number 1 is now this. I went in order, so I went from this is my favorite song, so it's something that
has to be old then.
I'll listen to it constantly. My number 1 song is "Turn Out the Lights."
Halo on Fire. What?
Halo on
the
Fire.
most recent song, and that's your number 1.
Dude, it gets.
Are you still on the high from the symphony, or was that pre-symphony?
It's slowly becoming it before the synth, and then the S&M2 just kind of bumped it up. Dude, I love that song, man. It's got everything. It's got everything I like.
That fade to black ending.
Yeah.
With the repeating lyrics, and then
that prayers cannot get through. Return to sender. Oh man, I fucking love that.
Open or close, my eyes betray. Oh. Some of those lyrics hit real hard.
Yeah,
and that first half, the lyrics are easy.
Yeah,
it's easy.
Yeah, it's super. It's just a badass song.
The melody works.
There's that nice little breakdown where he's and then it goes back into it. It's a damn good
complex.
Song,
it has vibes of Ride the Lightning as far as the way the song is.
And I think Ride's up there as one of my favorite albums. I could listen to Ride the Lightning back and forth, up and down, left and right for days.
I think Master of Puppets was on that list as far as albums I could hear from start to finish. But oddly enough, so is the Black Album. It's not on my list as like the songs I listen to often, but consistently from front to back, that album's solid.
I think the reason why I never put anything from on there is because it's already in its own league. You know what I mean?
It was hard since consistently it's such a good album. It was hard for me to pick 1 or 2 to put on this list. There's standouts on most of these other albums.
Oh yeah.
But Black Album's solid 8s and 9s.
Yeah, it's
some of it might be overplayed. Again, we've been to 10 shows. We've seen Enter Sandman 9 or 10 times. We've seen Sad But True 9 or 10 times. We've seen Else Matters 9 or 10 times.
I mean,
you're gonna have that fatigue.
And
Unforgiven 9 times out of 10.
And Enter Sandman and Nothing Else Matters. Those ones are played to death on the radio.
That's what got them. That's what got them.
And also we're wrestling fans, and so Enter Sandman was RVD's intro for, right? Yeah.
No, Sandman's. ECW. Sandman.
Yeah. Sorry. So like it gets overplayed. So like that's why I didn't put anything on there. But I mean, I could have put. Actually, we can go into honorable mentions.
Oh yeah. Let me flip my sheet over.
One of my honorable mentions is Nothing Else Matters, the live version from San Antonio, the show that we went to, because we took my nephew. He had just turned 17 at the time. It was his first real big show.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even in his hometown.
Yeah, it was his first big concert. It was obviously mine and his first experience together as family to go see them. We got right on the rail again. They played Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas. Me and Chris went and saw them in Houston. We got front row again. We got picks. We got the pick, and then we took my nephew to San Antonio and we saw him. I just remember being on that rail and then like me and my nephew just like headbanging and jamming out to that song.
Was that the show where somebody proposed in the snake pit?
Maybe.
There was one recent show, and it was either Houston or San Antonio, where there was a couple in the snake pit. The snake pit, there's the stage right here, and then there's a circle that connects it, where the band members go around and perform or sing. That hole in the middle, they would actually have fans in that hole. That's called the snake pit. And in that snake pit for either the Houston or the San Antonio show,
that happened at Oakley Dokley. Are you thinking Oakley Dokley?
No. No, because I remember it specifically because there were people cheering before James even hit the lyrics, like during the solo, and I'm like, why are people cheering now?
Yeah.
And I turned around and everybody was with like high fiving the couple that was down there. So
yeah, so that's on my. Also, hearing "Merciful Fate" with King Diamond.
So your honorable mentions are not originals. Because Merciful Fate is not a Metallica original.
Yeah,
but them putting it together is a Metallica original.
It's the live performance because I saw them in Ozfest with King Diamond on vocals, because he lives in Dallas, and so he was like, "Hey, we got a friend that lives in Dallas," and everybody was just like, "It's King Diamond," and everybody else was like, people around me were like, "No, man, he's not gonna come out," and they were like, "Do you mind if he comes out?" And he came out, and they fucking did Merciful Fate together, and I was like, "This is cool as shit."
Wow.
Is that on the CD? Is that on the live performance?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
I have it somewhere.
So this is the list that I chose from when I was making this list to figure out what the hell was I'm picking. 4 Horsemen, Whiplash, Fade to Black, Trapped Under Ice, Damage Incorporated, 1, To Live Is to Die, Don't Tread on Me, My Friend of Misery, Struggle Within from Black Album. Bleeding Me is probably my 11th song. I Disappear from Mission Impossible. Yeah. That's a cool little rock jam. Again, straightforward, short and simple, but you think Metallica is this, so that when they come when they go outside the box, it throws you out. Frantic from Saint Anger, All Within My Hands from Saint Anger. Mm-hmm. Even the heavy version from the album, the original version, it stands out to me. Unforgiven 3, Suicide and Redemption.
Okay,
that's a cool little fucking little instrumental also. And then for Hardwired, I have Moth in the Flames, Halo on Fire, and Am I Savage, because I hear that bit from Am I Savage so much. It's my alarm. That riff.
Oh, really?
That's
what wakes you up?
Yeah, that's what wakes me up every morning.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, and that's the next song on my list that hopefully I will get to catch live, because so far they've toured for 3 years for Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Yeah. The only songs from the original album, not the bonus songs, just from the original album that they have not played live is Murder 1, their tribute to Lemmy Kilmister, and Am I Savage. Every other song from that album, they've played it live at least once.
Huh. Those are good.
Yeah.
So I just have a couple. That Ronnie Rising melody.
Dude.
From
medley.
From that Ronnie James Dio's tribute. That thing goes hard, man. 3 songs, they just splice them together.
It fucking works.
It works. When a blind man cries, that was on
the original recording that they did.
Yeah,
it was a compilation album for Deep Purple. So that song had been out for years already. Just like Ronnie James Dio, they re-released them as bonus tracks for Hardwired. Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If you're going covers, Turn the Page.
That whole album to me, I love that album. I love hearing "Am I Evil" and
that's solo. That's solo to "Am I Evil." Stone Cold Crazy, The Prince, Bread Fan,
everything on there. What do they do? Not Sabbath. What's the Sabbath song that they do on there?
Oh, Sabracadabra.
Yeah,
it's 2 songs actually that are spliced.
I love listening to Garage Day. It's like that's a good album.
The Motorhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it, man, in a nutshell. My list was 29 original Metallica songs, and I had to whittle that 29 down to my Metallica 10.
And you still never gave me your full 10, like, in order. But whatever. So, I mean, I think we're done, right? There's not much else we can talk about.
Off the top of your head, or if you have it written down on your phone, do you know the 10 Metallica shows you've been to?
Oh, no, probably not. I don't know the years. But I saw Summer Sanitarium, right? That was like in 2000 and
Which one?
the one at Reliant.
Okay, 2003.
Okay.
So that was Metallica, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Mudvayne, Deftones.
Yes.
Oh, that was your first Metallica concert.
Yes.
Okay, that was actually my first Metallica concert too.
Yeah. Then I went and saw them the St. Anger tour, which was the next
2004
at Toyota Center.
Yeah,
I
was there too.
I went to San Antonio for, I'm guessing that's Death Magnetic. I'm pretty sure I saw Metallica twice on the St. Anger tour in Houston, the 2 times they came. Then, or maybe once. Then I saw them, I saw them in Houston for Death Magnetic. I saw them in San Antonio for Death Magnetic.
You drove in the rain for that.
I drove in the rain. As soon as I got to the outskirts of Houston, it started raining, and I hydroplaned. And again,
you're new to the road trip.
I've never driven, other than to the store and to my friend's house. I'd never driven to San Antonio by myself. So that was one of the ones where I was like, I think I'm just going to turn around and go home.
Aren't you glad you didn't?
100%. Then I went and saw them at Ozfest.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas. The
ACL,
Death Magnetic tour.
And
no, that wasn't Death Magnetic. That was a Hardwire tour. And then S&M. What's that? How many was that?
I have no idea because you were rambling.
You're supposed to be. I thought you were writing.
2003, Summer Sanitarium at Reliant.
Yes.
2004, Madly in Anger, Toyota Center.
Yes.
2012, Voodoo Fest in New Orleans.
Okay. Did you not go to Death Magnetic anymore?
No.
Wow. Okay.
No. Actually, I hadn't really started traveling until 2000. Actually, the 2000 that Ozfest show.
Yeah.
In 2008.
Uh-huh.
That year, I had went to my fiance at the time. My girlfriend that became my wife, not my ex-wife. We went to WrestleMania 24 in Orlando that year. So
okay.
I had already spent my money.
Yeah.
And by then the Metallica tickets were already gone.
The cool thing about Death Magnetic was, and I'm sure you've seen it, but they had those like coffins.
Yeah.
And so the stage had coffins and they like rotated and they lit up.
And then they had like LEDs in them so that you would see like somebody shaking in there.
Yeah. It was kind of cool to see that. It was a cool experience.
The Voodoo show, Green Day was headlining the Saturday show.
Okay.
And then within a week's notice, they had to pull out because Billy went to rehab. So on a week's notice, they found Metallica. Like that, the next day, they had replaced Green Day with Metallica. And by then, I had already started working again because I was unemployed.
Yeah.
Financial crisis and all that shit. And I told my wife, we're going. And I promised her that I would take her to see Metallica. A quick rewind. We went to visit her family in Monterey, and at the mall, they had Orgullo y Gloria, the live Metallica DVD that they did in Mexico City. So on the way back, we had rode with their parents. So on the way back, we're sitting in the middle of the van, and the van had the drop down with the DVD player. We were watching the show, and the first song is Creeping Death. And then when they show the white shot of the crowd going, die, die, die. And I look at Sylvia, I was like, babe, check this out. And I showed her my arm, and there was like goosebumps on top of goosebumps. And she looked at me like she had just seen a ghost. She didn't really understand it because she knew me. We're married, but she didn't know everything about me. And I was still like, she didn't understand all that.
Yeah.
And I told her, I'm going to take you one day to see it. So when we were there at Orion, somehow we ended up again on the rail. And I'm like,
yeah, you found your way down there.
Almost every show. And we're on the rail, and then the show finished, and she looked at me and she kissed me. And the first thing she said was, I get it.
That's cool. That's a cool experience.
That was it.
Yeah.
We drove that Saturday morning. We spent the night on the highway, and then that next day, we were already back home.
You slept on the highway?
We slept in the car, yeah. In my smart car, the little shit box.
Oh, damn.
We slept in that. So that's my third concert, 2012. 2015, X Games,
Yep.
Saturday night. I saw Metallica twice. Earlier in the day during a motocross event, James and Kurt came out and played the national anthem on guitars.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
And then later on, they played the show. I was already tired. I was getting sick. So we pulled out. We were like in the pit, and then we pulled out. And then we're like, the encore, baby. There's 3 sets. Let's go in there. And I'm like limping my way in there. And as soon as we got close enough inside the floor, Whiplash started. For whatever reason, that was like fucking Viagra. My energy went whoop. And I just I threw caution to the wind, and I like bounced around. And then Sandman came on, another weird-ass story that not many people know. Sandman came on, and Metallica tend to drop beach balls with their logo on it, and I wanted one. And I grabbed one, and I hunker it down, and then I feel someone tugging on it. And I pick my head up, ready to swing, and it's my girlfriend at the time, Lisa, that has the other end, securing that we have it. And in that moment, like I dropped all my walls to the point, because we've been dating for over a year there.
Yeah.
At that point, I don't know what the fuck was in me. I was about to propose right there to her. And right before the thought left from my brain to my tongue, I get elbowed in the back of my head.
Oh, like a wake-up call.
Yeah. Like a wake-up call.
That was God hitting you in the back of the head to say, no, bro.
That was fucking it.
Do you still have the beach ball?
Yes,
okay.
I still do. That's my 4th show. 2016, World Wired. In California. I invited you to this show because I got $25 tickets. Yeah. You couldn't make it. So I go on the Metallica fan club website. Yo, I got a spare ticket. Someone make me an offer. Within 5 minutes, a guy messaged me. I'll give you $500 for that ticket. I was like, fuck me. I was like, all right, on one condition. Where are you from? I'm from Michigan. Cool. I'm from Texas. I'm not flying all the way over there to be in the back. Give me half of the money in my PayPal up front. Give me the other half the day of the show. I need you to be waiting in line the day of the show. That mofo was 5th in line, which meant your boy Antonio Picante was 5th in line. I got a set list and a guitar pick from that show.
That's cool.
So that ticket that he paid for my entire fucking flight. Everything.
Because we like to fly cheap. And
dirt
stay cheap.
I got him to the dirt cheap shit. So that was my 5th show. Then World Wired here in Houston. World Wired, Alamo Dome. The next day I surrendered myself to go to jail. That's 2017, both of those shows. 2018, he was at ACL for week number 2. I was there for week number 1. 2019, the beginning of the year, was the show in Little Rock. It was on Labor Day weekend. I wanted to see the band, but I knew all the floor tickets were gone. It was a cheap getaway, so I got $50 nosebleeds. I got there like maybe an hour before the show started. I bought my poster, went to my seat. They played Spit Out the Bone for the encore. So after that was Nothing Else Matters in Sandman. I know this because I've had all the shows on my computer. Let's beat the traffic. Let's get the fuck out of here. And that's exactly what we did. Went back to the hotel, smashed for a couple hours, and then woke up and went back home.
Slept for a couple hours.
And then that year, S&M2, and that's my 10th show. So 10 shows.
I think I did 10 too. I don't know.
Yeah, you did the 10, but you bounced around a little bit. But
I have to write them down. I have to write them all down. You have to give me the copies of them so I can. I have them somewhere, but they're not on my computer.
So that's it, and hopefully someday, 11.
God, I hope so, man. Yeah.
And I've had, and good news for you. In my apartment is a passport application already filled out.
Oh, your boy's making moves.
I've been saying for years I want to go to Japan. Hell, if Metallica goes to Japan, they play a lot of deep cuts over there.
I'd go to Japan for Metallica.
They play deep cuts. It's weird. Our fan base, our casual fan base, they cater to the casuals. Yeah. So it's a lot of staples, a lot of hits, very few if ever rarities.
That's a lot of places and a lot of bands do that.
Yeah, but when they go overseas, they play all kinds of shit.
They go to Germany, they're playing all the weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know if you know this. The band themselves have played the Ecstasy of Gold.
Huh.
There's a lot I need to teach you, my little Padawan. Yeah, James does the solo for both bits of the song. Like the band actually plays that song.
Chris is a live
I am my internal hard drive is full of Metallica knowledge
of live shows.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go back into the time machine. I'm gonna make you a CD of nothing but rare shit that you probably have never heard.
I'm down for that, man.
Yeah,
you can do that, man.
I've got a few left, so yeah, I will open your mind, and the rest will follow.
All right. So out of those 10, is there a favorite where you're like, that was the greatest Metallica show I've been to?
S&M2 is on another level because it's not to be morbid. I don't think the band will be around 20 years from now to do S&M3 with newer shit.
No.
This is it.
They're
As a Metallica fan, this is it.
50s now.
Yeah,
right?
This is it. They'll never touch this. Never go back to this.
I don't see Metallica doing this when they're in their 70s.
I see 2 more studio albums and that's it. So they're
not tour or no more touring.
And that too. They probably could still tour, but I don't see them ever revisiting the S&M barrel again. That's it. This is the end.
Yeah,
and the fact that the whole journey, the whole week, the breweries, the girls. You didn't go into the girls.
No.
You didn't tell them the first.
That's for another podcast, another episode.
The drive to Santa Monica, the Pacific Coast Highway, San Diego, getting rained on, and then right when we get to the brewery, it stopped raining.
Yeah.
That San Francisco, that concert and that whole week is engulfed in a single memory that nothing can top. So that album, that concert's in a different.
I agree.
It's like one of the top 10. That's like one of the top weekends of my entire life.
No, I'm up there too.
So I can't. So that's off the table. I would have to say the experience of the year that we both saw Metallica twice in stadiums, 75,000 people filled.
Yeah.
And then the year earlier, I saw them for $20 in a place 3,000.
Yeah.
And I'm on the rail, and I got the set list, and I got a guitar pick,
and you're in the video,
and I'm in the video.
Yeah. I got.
It's the Fox Theater.
Me, it's.
But Sanitarium also is up there because I almost
S&M2 all the way up here, like way up here. Like I can't even go any higher.
You have to die to reach that level.
Right underneath, it's San Antonio with me, you, and my nephew.
The family tie.
The family tie. And then the third one is the Houston show that we went to before that, because I had never been on the rail for Metallica show. I'd never been on the floor for Metallica show.
I had gotten you on the rail before. I found you during a Megadeth show, and I was like, "Bro, come over!" And I pulled you over.
And you almost fought that guy that one time.
Yeah, and it wanted to be my life because somebody was bugging me at that show, and I was like, "I don't want anything to do with you, girl." I was like, dude, I'm taken. And I turned around. I was like, do you not fucking get it? I was like, babe, because we had separated when that whole pit opened up. And so, No,
this one was the guitar pick. You put your foot on the guitar pick.
I put my foot on the pick, and some dude tried to grab it. I was like, man, if you even touch me, I'm going to bust you in your goddamn. And the look on his face.
He was like, oh, I've seen it go. So I'm out.
And you've seen me be as cool as a cucumber. You've never seen me
that was
angry.
Like, oh shit!
I was embarrassed after that. It's like I did not show my vulnerability to you over a fucking guitar pick. Yet here I am. That bitch is framed on the wall somewhere.
I mean, I've been on the rail to shows, but like never for Metallica. And one of my dreams was to see Metallica and be on the rail or be on the pit and getting a guitar pick that I still have in Houston. I got the San Antonio one. I got one for my nephew. So those are just stuck in my mind. I have videos on my old phone that I still have. It's over here in a box over here.
Dude, that San Antonio show, before Metallica hit the stage, there's a group of people on, and I was like, yo, Shadows, the singer from Avenged Sevenfold. No one noticed this fool.
Yeah.
And I picked him out. And I wish I didn't want to make a scene. And he realized that too.
Yeah.
So I was like, can I have a quick picture? And he just showed up, pulled off his hoodie, and he had the hat backwards. I got to pick the guy. And like no one knew the wiser after. It's like, who was that? It's like, bro, that was Shadows from fucking Avenged Sevenfold. It's like, no fucking way. I was like, dude, you should have been paying attention.
I mean, I could care less, but
not you, but like the other people around
other people
us
that went to the show
were jealous.
To see
so I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else, or are we done?
That Summer Sanitarium is up there too, man. I was paralyzed for an hour.
Literally paralyzed. Not like
I couldn't walk after Linkin Park. They rolled me backstage. I got my legs covered in ice for 45 minutes. They wheelchaired me back out. And as soon as I stood up, the lights went out, Limp Bizkit went on, and right back in the mosh pit I went. I was like, this is the last day on earth. Fuck it. I'm going to go out with a bang.
You know what's crazy? That summer, I saw that whole show, right? So I saw Limp Bizkit, all those Metallica. Then I saw Dio and Iron Maiden.
Oh.
I also saw Snoop Dogg and Red Hot Chili Peppers. And the only one that I missed was Motorhead because of traffic.
Late.
So I would have seen Metallica,
Motorhead, Dio, Maiden, and Motorhead.
And Snoop. Motorhead, Metallica, Dio, Iron Maiden the same month or like month and a half. I would have seen all of them, but it wasn't meant to be. I don't want to brag, but I saw Motorhead once. Chris did not. I'm sure.
Well, kinda. I've had tickets to see Motorhead twice, and both times he called out sick, so they canceled. But I've seen Motorhead perform live in WrestleMania twice, the same song.
Yeah,
that doesn't count.
It counts,
but it's something. It's not a whole thing. It's an asterisk.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's it, bro.
So this is the first episode. I don't know what I'm gonna do next episode.
The world is yours, bro. Tell the people what you're into. Maybe that's something that they'll expect in the next couple of episodes.
There's gonna be movie reviews, game reviews.
Strike one.
We're gonna
strike two.
Why,
bruh? Tell them why you call yourself Max Power.
That was my third one.
That should be first.
We're obviously big. I'm a big Simpsons guy. He's a big Simpsons guy.
I'm a bigger Simpsons guy.
So obviously Max Power is Homer's new name when he gets.
We could do like a side episode just on that episode on how Homer gets his. It's so dumb.
We will. So there's going to be a couple episodes of. There's going to be a lot of Simpsons episodes, favorite character episodes.
Halloween's coming up. We could do a top 5 Treehouse of Horror. That's how it's done on the fly.
I have something for you, but I want to get your opinion on it before, so we won't put it on here. But
shave it first.
It took me a second, and I want to watch that back just to see the light bulb click in my head. So just make sure you like, subscribe. If you want to listen to the podcast versions, we're going to be on SoundCloud. On the Red Couch with Max Power, it's on there too. This will be on there. I might do some just podcast exclusive stuff, and then YouTube exclusive stuff. So just make sure you're following both. I don't have a Twitter yet, but I might create a Twitter and an Instagram account.
Let me know when you do, so I can send you some of my pictures from some of the Metallica shows, and we'll
do a little collaboration.
I'll prove I was backstage for Summer Sanitarium.
I've never seen this picture. I've never seen
this. Dude, you've been in my apartment. I have a section of Metallica shit in my apartment of framed stuff, and I have pictures of the crates from backstage.
Yeah, there's going to be just pop culture in general, stuff like that. So if you like this content, you like us just ripping for the past, 2 hours and 30 minutes?
So much for editing now, since it's over 2 hours. That's the episode. You're not gonna be able to cut out anything.
You for real? I thought it was 3 hours.
That's been 2 hours.
Whatever. Yeah. So if you guys liked it, like, subscribe, help us out, comment if you want us to do something.
If you have any suggestions, let us know. If you have any questions.
Oh, there will be beer episodes.
Oh yeah. By the way, he works at.
I work at Great Heights Brewing Company. This is not this beer. The beer that I've been drinking for the day is lager beer from Sigma. Super easy drinking, light, crisp. You can get it at Whole Foods, HEB, Specs, Total Wine. I think they got Total Wine.
I've been on a hazy kick lately. Also from Sigma, Ursa Minor hazy IPA.
That one I think you can only get at the brewery. But yeah, so each episode we're gonna have a different beer, or we're just gonna drink beer.
I should have brought the bottle of Blackened. Fuck. We'll save it for the next Metallica episode. It has to be there.
Yeah, so if you guys liked it, like and subscribe, help us out, share, tell people you have any ideas of shows that you want us to hear us rip about. Yeah, so I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
See you next time.
Toodles.
Already gimmick infringement. Already. You couldn't wait for episode 2. You had to steal my shit. God damn it, Bobby. Do I hit the stop button on here now?
Yeah.
All right. Let me reach out. People can see my belly on the way out.